You, my dear, are going to be just fine.
Don't show the baby. God, don't show the baby. So we'll do our standard Grey's Anatomy health check here, which involves reading the heart rate, making sure it's still, you know, good enough. And then probably checking his vision. Oh no, inserting a thermometer into his armpit. In my defense, I can't believe that nobody involved in the production of this game looked at this and said, you know, that looks an awful lot like you're sticking the thermometer up the baby's asshole. I really can't believe that someone didn't say that. Maybe someone did say it and they were just like, look man, we're on a shoestring budget here, there's not a lot we can do about that. You want us to hire a whole new art team? And here we have a kind of embarrassing moment. I'm so used to these three-piece puzzles that I thought I had solved it at this point, but no, in fact, time ran out. And I love what Bailey says here. It's like, I'm being irresponsible with a patient. Well, no, not at all, really. It becomes immediately clear when you see a scene like that they only wrote one contingency failure piece of dialogue for everybody. And Bailey's quite clearly does not apply here. But anyway, once you know that you actually have to get 5 pieces, this is a much easier puzzle to solve.
He's a fighter.
Oh, you want to see a fighter? Let me show you the girl down in room 602B. You know, it's times like this when I just start to realize, like, what a piece of shit this game is, basically. Like, how arbitrary is it that for every minor decision we have to complete a stupid minigame? Like, it does remind me, I mentioned this in the first episode, but it reminds me so much of those old FMV titles that you'd see on, like, Sega CD, where it's like, you're driving down a road and then it has a QuickTime event, like, hit right in the right direction to,
when you have kids,
get things
you
going
find
on.
yourself doing things and saying things to protect them.
Weird, huh?
Only sometimes you think you're protecting them, but you're really lashing out at the wrong person.
It's a highly specific lesson
sorry,
she's teaching
I should
here.
have taken the day off.
He shouldn't still be here. He's tiny. He's the most.
Well, his neck isn't tiny. The boy's growing up quick. He's got a Schwarzenegger neck. Of course, my favorite minigame. Let's actually try to uncover the right guy here. Matt Damon Burger. Sorry, I've wanted to get that joke out of my system since the very start.
Open. We don't study the details of how disease spreads. We have to trust the CDC.
Occasionally we cut people open, Dr. Bailey. Occasionally.
Don't tell anyone I apologize to you.
God forbid anyone knows I actually have a heart, and I'm not simply a one-note character designed for audiences to easily identify with or against. Maybe I'm bringing a bit too much analysis to this. Man, this guy he will not get the picture. Why is he going after Sandra Oh so hard? She looks like a hideous space mutant.
Don't worry. I'm not gonna ask you out again.
Good. Then I won't have to reject you again.
And she's also a total
I just wanna
bitch.
say that I've been in the OR with a lot of doctors, and you are without a doubt
The ugliest. I mean, without a doubt. Alright, so we can compliment her on her surgical skills or her personality. I'm gonna be authentic and compliment her on her surgical skills, because she has the worst personality of any adult human I've ever met.
the most intense I've ever seen. Watching you do surgery is like watching Picasso paint a picture.
And I know that because I've seen Picasso paint a lot of
Not
pictures.
dead. Of course, that doesn't change the fact that you're also one of the most selfish people I've ever met.
How dare you! Shoot, I need to backtrack. What are you talking about? You didn't expect that line to produce a reaction like that? Like, oh shit, I didn't think she'd take it that hard. Is that an insult? Most selfish person I've ever met?
But if you weren't, you wouldn't be nearly as good of a doctor as you are. And Christina, you are amazing.
And of course,
So
all
what?
great
You
surgeons
wanna have
are
sex after the
selfish.
surgery?
The thing about that, you want to have sex after the surgery line, and I was talking over it a little bit, I apologize for that. I think, the more I watch this, the more I think she's actually being authentic. She's like, alright, so you want to fuck after the surgery? You complimented me enough, with like 4 compliments, that's good enough for me. Man, that is not a good look for Jim Halpert there.
No thanks.
What?
I want a date after surgery. If you're up for it, I'll see you outside the locker room. If not, then I won't.
This guy would be endearing if he wasn't so mentally deficient. What does that vending machine sell? It looks like they only sell tall cans of Coors Light.
Mrs. Morello, your blood work shows extremely high levels of creatinine. Because of damage they've sustained during your fights, your kidneys are shutting down. You'll need dialysis.
For how long?
The rest of your life.
How will it affect
Which is probably
my
going to be
training?
about 10 weeks if she keeps this up. What is she, I like how she says, like, how will dialysis affect my training? Like, you think you're going to enter the, like, UFC for women on a dialysis machine? You wouldn't see that shit in the WWE as a joke. It would be kind of funny to watch, though, I'll admit.
Training. It ends it. You're done fighting.
There's gotta be a way I can keep competing.
One of the worst animations. Oh, come on! There's gotta be some, like, medical code of ethics that prevents this from happening. Sometimes I forget that this exists in the world of TV show medicine. Why not give your kidney to someone who needs it, or they'll die, not your wife who will just recklessly endanger it.
An alcoholic a new liver.
I'm a
Thank you.
competitor, not an addict.
How can you let her do this to herself?
You don't understand, Dr. Karev. I don't want her to fight, but she's my wife. If I don't stand by her, then I'll lose her. And I am not gonna lose her.
Pussy. Pussy, pussy, pussy. Dr. Karev, you don't understand. She beats the shit out of me when you're not looking, man. Find me a way out of here. Alright, so of course we're gonna do the irresponsible thing and actually do the kidney transplant here. Apparently a doctor of greater experience and aptitude has already taken the kidney out, so all we've got to do is put it back in. I suppose I shouldn't say that, I don't really know which one's harder. Let's put it this way, I could probably take out a kidney a lot better than I can put one in.
Orient the kidney to the external iliac vessels.
She could not have sounded calmer. That's a great presence in the operating room. Alright, so we've got some blood sucking, but luckily there's no extra bleeding going on here, so I don't have to worry about the weird interaction between my recorder and the game itself, and I succeed relatively well. Now this part looks really simple, but I got really confused, so you just drop the kidney in here with the red touching the red and the blue touching the blue. Pretty much as simple as a kidney transplant is in real life, but then they give you this, like, banana-looking organ here, and I can't figure out where to put it, so I'm just kind of, like, moving this piece of dog shit around, trying to find out where to put it down, and eventually I realized that you gotta attach it to, like, the gland here. I really don't know what that is. My guess is that it's like the adrenal gland, but again, bringing a little bit too much knowledge into this Let's Play, considering the source material. And then they actually get a little bit creative with the suturing minigame here. You gotta do a figure 8 pattern instead of just your standard crisscross. Nearly trips me up, but I still finish a little bit under the wire, thank God.
Her husband's like an enabler.
No.
Yeah, I
he's like
can't
his
believe we
wife.
just did that surgery.
He's a fighter. He'll take.
You want to see a
anyone
fighter? I'll show
or
you the woman in
anything that
6.
comes
Oh,
between
wait.
them.
I understand now, Dr. Bailey. I have to kill George.
Just about done here.
Oh, I know, those Friday night surgeries seem to drag on forever. I just want to go home and have a beer. Oh, fine, I'll remove your brain tumor. Anything else you want me to do for you today? Shine your shoes? You're a doctor. You gave up the privilege to be worried about these trivial things when you took on the responsibility
Dr.
of
Hahn,
other
since
people's
Christina
lives.
Has come in, is it okay if I head out a little early? I have a commitment I'd like to keep.
I don't mind. I can close alone if you both want to leave.
What
I
a
promise I won't
surprise,
fuck the
Dr.
nurse on the
Yang.
operating table.
Just help us with these sutures here, and then you may go.
And again, what a ridiculous way for the game to just basically give us busy work. So all we've got to do is suck the blood, which of course is actually going to be a problem here, considering this is the dude's fucking aorta. So I've just used movie magic to take that part out of here. But then, we've just got to stitch him up, and then that's the entire purpose, or the entire gameplay section of this scene. Not necessary in the least. And it really does nothing to advance the story, but I suppose we do have a little bit more of that coming at the end of this scene right here.
Thank you, Dr. Hahn.
Typical surgical professionalism as she jogs out of the operating room.
Come on, our reservation is at 7. We can still make it if we hurry.
I was waiting for you.
Grace Hospital staff, patients, and visitors. This is Chief of Surgery Richard Weber. Here with me is Damon Berger of the Center for Disease Control. Due to the spreading of an infectious disease, we are officially locking down the hospital and placing those infected under quarantine. No one will be permitted to enter or leave the hospital. Medical staff and CDC representatives will be on hand to answer your questions. Thank you for your cooperation.
Wow, they're not even going to give us any reaction shots to that? That was a big moment. Give me something.